Hi guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor and your leverage for change. And today I've really been just speaking about the different attachment styles in my last few videos of how it is that they kind of fail at in connecting and maintaining relationships and why it is that this is so. So I always kind of start out. Today I'll be actually directing my attention to the fearful avoidant attachment style. And guys, if you've seen enough videos already on YouTube, you'll realize that this attachment style is really difficult to have, and also difficult for someone to be in relationship with because they have both sides of the coin. You could say they have the dismissive attachment style and they have the anxious, preoccupied attachment style together in one person. You can imagine the craziness and the challenges that this person faces in relationships, right? Before I start, guys, I want to remind you that I do have memberships for my channel, so just hit that join button below this video and it will kind of give you an outline of all the different, I have five different levels. The first level is really basically just to support my channel, which is at $3.99 a month. And at the upper level, it will be having the opportunity to kind of work with me one-on-one, but it's just once a month. And you don't have the support that you normally get and the accountability and the encouragement that you get when you work with me one-on-one, which is really my specialty. I really prefer it because I get to know who you are and I get to really work on your specific needs. I get to really focus on you because when I'm speaking online here, it's really a generalized kind of information that I have to give because I don't know you specifically, and it's impossible to really speak to a specific person. So always know that all these videos that I do, guys, is not pertaining, and I'm not describing a person, one person, and it's not going to be true for every person because also there is this thing of being at different levels. That person is also going to be along, that attachment style is going to be along a continuum. So I want you to understand that the best way to really make changes in your life is really to work one-on-one with a caring individual that really cares about getting what you need to get to be at the place to have healthy relationships, really a successful life. And when I work with someone, I work on the entire person. Yes, you may come in for the attachment style, but a lot of the times, the attachment style, there are things behind that causes you to respond in certain ways, and there are other things and other challenges that you face that I work on everything. I'm a holistic person who deals with the entire person with the specific challenges that you have. All right, so there's an email down there. You can reach out to me if you want to work with me one-on-one. I usually give a free consultation Zoom session and to see what your needs are and how we can work together. Okay, guys, so continuing with this how it is that the fearful avoidant attachment style may have really specific challenges in creating and maintaining committed and connected intimate relationships. So I always go from the framework of what it is that what is required really to have a committed, and what is required to maintain a committed relationship. And so with the fearful avoidant, one of the first of all, let me go with the actual what is required. It's one of the things that's required is the ability to be vulnerable with your partner, and this attachment style can be vulnerable, guys. They can be, because remember, they have the anxious, preoccupied attachment style, which has no problem being vulnerable. As a matter of fact, they kind of go to the other extreme of really sharing way too much, way too soon, right? And so this person has no problem being vulnerable with their partner. But I believe, because they also have the dismissive side, it is also tempered by that dismissive side, because the dismissive person does not trust relationships. So although this person will be able to be vulnerable in their relationship, it is also tempered by that other side of them, which is the dismissive avoidant attachment style, who really does not trust relationships. So there's always kind of like a pull and push kind of a relationship with this particular attachment style. So they will share and then they will clam up. They will share, and then if they feel they can't trust you, or they feel that they're just too vulnerable, that you might take advantage of that vulnerability, they will just go back into their shell and clam up and just, just sometimes they will physically leave, sometimes they will be right there, but they are closed off of you, from you. The next thing, guys, that is required to have a successful and committed relationship is the ability to make the other person feel loved. And as I said, because this person has the attachment style from the anxious preoccupied attachment style as well, they will have that ability to really see. They're usually also very perceptive, and they can read a person very well, because when they were younger, they had to be able, the home they grew up had a lot of trauma in there, a lot of hostility. And so to be safe, they had to be able to read their caregiver's body language, their tone and everything, to know what it is that might happen later on, so they could protect themselves either by hiding, getting out of the way, or whatever it is that they needed to do. So this individual, guys, will be able to really kind of understand the person's needs. They were also children that may have been like parentified, right? Because the parents may have been on drugs, or they were just very abusive, and so they're alcoholics, drugs, whatever it might be, and then they were not there to take care of the child or their siblings. And so in this case, a lot of times this fearful avoidant attachment style individual really was parentified. They had to take care of their siblings, take care of themselves and their siblings, and sometimes their parents as well, a lot of times, because the parent might pass out drunk or on the sofa, or throw up and food everywhere, and they have to clean up after their parents, stuff like that. So they had a difficult start in life. And so pertaining to the fact that they know what a person needs to feel loved, they actually know what their parents need for them to really almost like not beat them. So they create this behavior and do things for their parents, because they know to fulfill their needs, so that they are not hurt themselves, all right? They're not abused themselves. So they're very much able to do that in a relationship. The only other thing is that it's done mostly a lot out of fear, out of the fact that they feel they need to do this for this person to love them, or to not abandon them. And so that is the difference between someone with the anxious preoccupied attachment style and somebody with a fearful attachment style, because the anxious preoccupied attachment style, that individual fears abandonment as well, but their abandonment did not come as a result of a lot of abuse. It was more of neglect, intermittent, not consistent care, inconsistency in the care they were given. But whereas a lot of the times the fearful avoidant attachment style individual, their experience as children was that they were parentified, and they had to be able to keep themselves safe by either kind of sucking up to their parents by doing things for them. And so that's why I say that they are able in this scenario with regular relationships to really be able to have that sense of what their partner needs, because they want to make them happy. They feel that they have to work for love. That's the only thing with this attachment style. They feel they have to earn love. All right. The next thing is that's required for an excellent connection in relationships, for couples to connect together, is by creating an atmosphere of safety and dependability. And unfortunately, in this area, this individual did not experience that. just similar to the dismissive avoidant attachment style. And remember, because they also have the dismissive avoidant as well as the anxious avoidant, they're now going to go towards their dismissive side more in that, because they don't trust that kind of, they never had it, that dependability, they didn't trust their parents. You know, they would want to go towards them to get love. They feel that need for love, because every human being needs that love. But they also did not trust that they would, you know, they were safe in that relationship, because they fear that if they went towards them, because sometimes they were beaten, sexually abused, or other abuse, emotionally abused. So they want that love, but they fear getting that love from that person, because they, most of the times, they were really they were really given, they were really abused instead of the love that they were seeking. Of getting the love they were seeking, they were given verbal, emotional, mental, physical abuse. And so they fear the people that they love too. They don't, you know, they feel that they have power over them. All right, the next thing is quality time. The quality time is necessary for connection in any relationship. Quality time, spending quality time with that person. Now in this scenario with this individual, they love to have quality time because they really have a need which they didn't get, to really be close to someone, to their partner, and in this case to their partner, right? But they also fear that if they got too close, that this person might hurt them, because they don't trust relationships, right? They might hurt them. So they are very, it is a very, almost like a hit and miss in this relationship with this attachment style individual, because they fear, they love their partner, but they fear that they could hurt them. They fear close connections, and fear that their partner could hurt them if they know that they love them too much. And so if they feel that the partner might feel like, you know, they love them too much, then they feel that that partner has power over them, just like their parents did when they were children. All right, the next thing is that couples need to really have respect for each other to really feel connected to each other. And in this case, they do have respect, because they were basically bullied when they were children. They were, you know, so but it is more out of fear. It's more out of fear. It's not a healthy kind of a respect. So they're able to show respect, yes, but it is more out of fear of losing that person, not so much out of really just loving that person, so that you want to not disrespect them. It's more out of fear. The other thing that's necessary also for connectivity in healthy relationships is, you know, being the other person's greatest fan. And yes, they can do that as well. They can do that, but the inconsistency of their of being there for that person is usually is really because of how they were brought up. They could not trust relationship, that person is going to be there for you know, for them all the time. And so what you'll see is that they want love, they really need to have that love, but they fear love at the same time. So when they come towards you and they feel that maybe they're either falling in love with you too much, now they feel you have the power over them, because you know they're at your mercy, because they love you too much. They will retreat, just like the dismissive avoidant attachment style individual will retreat when there is too much emotional connection. So I hope that makes some kind of sense to you guys. It is a very difficult attachment style to operate from in relationships, and also to be in relationship with as a partner in relationships. So guys, nothing is impossible. I know that a lot of people believe that when they reach that stage, they are so broken, it's like they're beyond repair. You know, that's what, you know, some I've heard that. And so what I need you to know is that these things were not your belief system that you grew up with. This is not you learned that from your caregivers. The experiences that you had was from your caregivers, and you just kind of accepted that because at that age you didn't have a choice. And so now you can reframe and rewrite those old programming, right, to live a healthier and more successful life. And if you want to reach out to me, my email address is right below this video in the description. And also, please like and share this video if you found some value in it. Also, please subscribe to my channel also, that and hit that notification bell. That way, as soon as I upload a new video, you will be notified. Until next time, guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. Take care of yourself. Until next time, bye.